let's try and see if we can get a deeper understanding of visual perception. But everything I say about visual perception can be applied to any other perception, the perception or experience that we call sound and sensation, any other experience, sound, touch, sight, taste, smell. The principles are the same. But today I want to talk about visual perception, the current understanding in science, and then the deeper understanding in consciousness. Okay, and let's see if we can kind of understand how the objective understanding of color perception or perception of form or perception of shape, the current understanding actually gets, what should I say, what's the word, gets stymied at a certain point. Okay, bear with me because this is not going to be 100% easy to grasp, but it's very important if you want to understand fundamental reality and the true nature of the self as well. So right now, as you look at the colors in my background, you can see, I presume, blood red, you can see blue, you can see purple, you can see green, etc. And according to current understanding, scientific understanding, what's really happening is light, which is photons, which has no color, no shape, no real dimensionality. It is colorless and shapeless. When light hits an object, some wavelengths of the electromagnetic spectrum are absorbed by the object's material. Okay. The electromagnetic spectrum, of course, is totally colorless, right? It's a frequency of electromagnetism. Then what happens is we perceive the reflective wavelengths as the object's color. For example, when you see the color red or any other red object, a red apple, then all the wavelengths except red are absorbed. And just the red wavelength is emitted, reflected. But the red wavelength is emitted. There's no red color emitted. A red wavelength that corresponds to the color red is emitted. Okay, then that electromagnetic frequency comes to your eyes. And your eyes contain light-sensitive cells called cones and rods. Cones have are of three different types, each sensitive to specific wavelength ranges, roughly corresponding to red, green, and blue. Reds are more sensitive to light intensity, but don't differentiate colors. Once again, what is being processed here is not a color. What is being processed here is electromagnetic information. Now we come to the next step, which is brain processing. Light activates cones in the retina, sending signals to the brain. The brain integrates these signals from different types of cones and other factors like context to create the final perception of color, to create the final experience of color. But here is the problem. This is where the subjectivity of color perception comes in, as individual brains may process the signals differently. Okay. However, there is no explanation at all, zero explanation, how the brain converts the electromagnetic activity, which is now electrochemical activity, into the actual experience of color. And without color, there's no shape, there's no form, and there's no scenery. Okay. So this is where the hard problem comes in. Right until the last step, we can explain everything except then the final thing, which is experience. And experience is color, not electrochemical activity or fluctuations of the electromagnetic field in the universe. This is where I think we have to resort to an experiential understanding that comes from the non-dual traditions, including Advaita. So Advaita Vedanta and other non-dual traditions offer a different perspective on color, suggesting it's not inherent in the object or light itself. Color is not inherent in the object or even light itself, but arises from the nature of awareness perceiving it. In this view, consciousness itself plays an active role in shaping our experience, every experience, but right now we're talking about the experience of color, without which there's no experience of any scenery. This perspective offers a philosophical and introspective approach to understanding perception. Key point: remember, color is a subjective experience arising from the interaction of light with objects and our visual system, according to science, but the subjective experience of color cannot be explained. Where it is happening and how's the brain converting that activity into the experience of color, without which there's no shape, no form, no scenery, nothing visual. So even though individual photons are colorless, their wavelengths somehow determine the perceived color, and the experience is happening nowhere that we can identify. Okay. The experience is happening in a location that can't be identified. Okay. The experience, all these colors are not in your brain, they're not in your eyes, they're not in the photons, they're coming to your eyes. So where is this experience happening? And the only answer is, it's happening in what I call I. I am experiencing this color, this scenery. And that I is also experiencing this body as color, right? The difference between this is color. So where is the experience of this body, my body, happening for me, happening for you, along with the experience of all the scenery? Where is it happening? For me, it's happening in what I call I am. And for you also, it's happening in what you call I am. The I am in which this experience is happening is the same I am in which this experience is happening for you. This is the true self, which is ever present, ever fresh, always now, in timeless being. And that is the true self, which has no shape and no color, but without which there's no shape or color. Okay. And where is that? It's infinite, it's non-local, it's timeless, it's fresh. It's the background of not only this scenery, but every other experience. Sound, touch, sight, taste, form, but also your thoughts, your feelings, your imagination, and even this explanation is all happening in the infinite. That infinite awareness is the subject of every experience. That infinite awareness is presence of spirit, in which the experience of mind and body of the universe is happening in an eternal now. And that spirit is I am, that I am. That spirit is the divine non-local awareness that we call God. Let me know if this made any sense to you and what use is it? Why? What use is it? That awareness in which this happens is not subject to birth and death. It is not in space-time, irreducible, shapeless, incomprehensible, unimaginable, the subject of all experience in every sentient being and every mode of experience and everything that we call experience. By the way, this is very beautifully summarized in the teachings of Vedanta, and Maharishi, my guru, explained it very well. He said, this is the Samhita of Rishi, Devata, and Chandas. Rishi is the seer, Devata is the divine act of seeing, and Chandas is that which appears as the form, the scenery. And this is how subject of experience modifies itself into the individual knower of experience, the individual knowing of experience, and the individual experience itself, the known experience. Rishi is the seer, Devata is the divine act of seeing, and Chandas is the scenery. And this is how we create the world, you and I, non-locally, in the matrix.